parties to appear before the administrative judge, and that the state will be seeking a new trial on behalf of Mr. Porter. So this saga is not over. And personally, I've had the same experience of having a jury come back hung, and sometimes the second trial results in a conviction, and sometimes it results in an acquittal. So no one should be upset about it. And again, I join the family in commending the hard work that this jury put in, the sacrifice that they made to be away from their friends, family, and employment, and their desire to reach a just and impartial verdict. It doesn't always work. That's the nature of our system. But I have every confidence that it will work a second time.
Really, do you think the prosecution should have done something more?
Oh, I'm not going to second guess the prosecution. I'm not going to second guess the defense. They're all competent, hard-working lawyers who did the very best that they could, and I'm sure that they're all disappointed. But I don't buy the nonsense that this is somehow a victory for either side. It's not. It's just a bump on the road to justice, and you know the road to justice has lots of bumps.
Why shouldn't this be viewed as an indication that it may be difficult to reach verdicts in all of these cases?
It should not be viewed as an indication that it may be hard to reach a verdict, either in this case or in any of the future cases, because the record of the criminal justice system says otherwise. Again, most hung juries get retried, and those that get retried are usually 70% or so in favor of conviction, about 20-some% in favor of not guilty, and a very small percentage result in hung juries a second time.
The ability to message to the public is that maybe they don't want to convict the cop. What do you say to that?
Oh, it's impossible to determine what the public wants from the view of a jury of 12 who could not reach a verdict. And no one should speculate what this means. And again, hung juries are usually temporary, and ultimately verdicts are reached in the overwhelming majority of cases that are retried after a hung jury. Let me take another question from somebody who hasn't asked one already. Anybody else got a question? And
so
if not,
talking about justice, people are saying this is not justice. You're saying this is part of the justice process.
The people who say that this is not justice simply don't understand how the system works. Sometimes there are guilty verdicts, sometimes there are not guilty verdicts, and sometimes there are temporary hung juries where no verdict can be reached and the cases are normally tried again. So this is just a temporary bump on the road to justice. It happens. It's part of how the system works.
Some are saying they're angry. Is this a cause for anger?
No one should. Look, if the family's not angry, no one else should be angry. And I think the family has a bigger stake in this than almost anybody else.
Do you have a preference?
And the family wants everyone to remain calm. They want everyone to understand what just happened, and to make sure that their tempers don't get the best of them and that their emotions remain in check. This is a very important stage in the case. And the fact that a hard-working jury representing the citizens of Baltimore, and indeed a cross-section of the citizens of Baltimore, couldn't reach a verdict, says nothing about whether a verdict can be reached in a second trial, nor does it say anything about whether a verdict can be reached for any of the other officers. Each officer has his own trial. Each officer's evidence is going to be different. And we can't predict what a jury is going to do based on a hung jury. We just can't do it.
Mr. Murphy, do you know what this means for the scheduling of the other trials, for the other officers?
No, I don't know how the new trial will be scheduled, whether it'll bump any of the other trials or whatever. We won't learn that until tomorrow. And that will be public.
Is the family disappointed? I know you said they're not upset. Are they disappointed somewhat?
They're only disappointed that there was no verdict. Again, the family's position has always been that they want justice. And they know that the only people in a position to bring about justice are that judge and that jury. And you have heard that that jury could not reach a verdict. And you know now that that doesn't mean anything about the future. And so no one should take away anything other than this jury tried and couldn't get the job done. even though they worked hard, and even though they worked in good faith, and even though they represent a cross-section of the community.
The defense said it was going to be difficult to get a fair trial.
All right, that was attorney Billy Murphy, who represented Freddie Gray's family in the civil suit against the city, and the police department won a sizable award for the family. Said something very poignant. If Freddie Gray's family's not angry about what happened today, nobody else should be.
Yeah.